Hola, hola mi gente, welcome back to my channel. I'm Vanity B. If you're new here, welcome. If you're back again, welcome again. So today we're going to talk about shifting identities, shifting states so that you can shift your reality and see your outside world changing as you're co-creating. Now, I want everybody to understand, the more rabbit holes you go down trying to understand this, the more you're going to complicate it. And I know that that's silly because you're watching a video trying to understand it, but it's really a simple concept once you understand the science behind it. What I want everybody to understand is you're constantly shifting on a day-to-day basis. This isn't something that you're learning to do. It's something that you're automatically programmed to do regardless if you want it to work or not. What you're seeing on the outside is a reflection of your core beliefs down to like deep into your programming. So when you're experiencing a loop, or when you're experiencing something that you're like, I don't like this in my life, I don't like this part of my life, I don't like the story that's playing out, what you need to understand is, for you to change that, you have to change a habit. You have to change the loop. You have to completely take it out of its programming and replace it with a new programming. Now, for you to break a habit, they say you have to replace it with another habit. So if you're constantly smoking, some people will take a rubber flavored stick or something and put it in their mouth to offset those triggers. But what I want people to understand is you need to apply this to absolutely anything that you do in life. If you're wanting to replace a habit, you're going to have to find something that will benefit it. So what I want you to focus on when I'm telling you this is simply just your thoughts. You don't need a full-blown routine. You don't need a full-blown lifestyle change that's going to complicate it for you, where you're not going to be able to fully go through with it and keep starting over. All you're going to focus on is your thoughts. Repetitive thinking, repetitive thoughts will always program the subconscious mind. Why? Because when you're repeating a thought, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, you're believing whatever you're thinking about. So what I want people to do for the next 21 days, if you're done with techniques, if you're done looking for the next big thing, and if you're just tired and you're ready to let it go, this is what I suggest anybody to do. And I promise you, you will shift. You will see a change. And let me tell you something, this is constantly always happening. It does not matter how long it seems, moment by moment, second by second, you're constantly shifting. The easiest way I can get anybody to understand this is, you just turned 25 years old. For the past year, you've been telling everybody you're 24 years old. The moment somebody tells you, oh, how old are you? And you're like, oh, I'm 24 years old. And then you remember, because again, manifesting and switching your reality has everything to do with knowing. You make a decision, you decide, you know, and you set that intention that no matter what, it is unmovable. You are knowing in what you're believing. So the moment somebody tells you, how old are you? I'm 24. Oh wait, no, I'm actually 25. I just had a birthday last week. That's it. You've shifted from one belief to another. And the more that you keep telling yourself, I'm 25, I'm 25, I'm 25, the more you're going to believe it, and the more you're just going to act and play out a 25-year-old. And the reason I use this is, let's say somebody adopted somebody, and maybe they got adopted at 2 years old, but they start telling that baby that they're 1 year old just to offset whatever story they want to tell that child. That child will go on their entire life believing corely that they are a year younger than what they really are. And it honestly does not matter, because the more that you repeat something, the more it is real for you. So again, it has everything to do with your thoughts. Now, the exercise I'm going to tell everybody to do is just simply just your thoughts. You don't need anything else. You don't need to tweak your routines. Again, I will make another video on that. Routines are probably the most important thing when you're trying to fully implement these new belief systems within you. But if you're just starting off, or you're just tired, at the very least, do this. This is what I've done, because I was tired of repeating old thoughts. You have two different voices in your head. You have a negative thought, a negative voice, and you have a positive voice. Constantly, just because we're programmed this way, we're more than likely always going to let the negative voice win. We're going to go towards the negative voice because it feels more familiar, and it's honestly a voice within our minds that's trying to keep us safe. That does not make sense to a lot of people, but it is trying to keep you safe. But if you do this one thing for the next 21 days, it is probably the easiest thing that a person can do to understand how they shift reality on a moment to moment basis. It's taking full control of your thoughts. So for me, I completely stopped listening to music for a while. What I would do was, instead of, when I'm in the car, I always have to listen to music, but instead of listening to music in the car, I would put on like classical music, frequencies, or music that I really did not even know the lyrics to or care to listen to because it wasn't my genre of music. The reason I would do that is because when you're listening to music and you're singing along and you're vibing along, the subconscious mind takes over. You already know how to sing the song. You already know what's coming next lyrically. Your mind starts to wander where you're not focused on a particular thought, and that's free range for you to just think whatever as you're driving. You already know when to stop at a stoplight, go at a green light. That is subconsciously programmed. So during that time when you're listening to music that you already know and you're driving on roads that are already familiar, the subconscious mind is 100% taking over and is on autopilot. What you're going to do in this very moment, instead of doing that and allowing your mind to switch off the conscious mind and allowing the subconscious mind to take over, you're going to switch into your conscious mind. And what you're going to do is focus on a particular thought. Like, for instance, let's say money. If money is constantly on your mind, like, I don't have enough money to pay a bill, I can't do this right, whatever the thought may be, if it's a negative thought that you're tired of feeling, because every time you think it, you're feeling something, it brings in that negative emotion, what you're going to do is completely flip that. I never have enough money. You're going to say, I always have enough money. I know it sounds crazy, but you're going to constantly just keep repeating that thought in your mind for the duration of the ride. That's as simple as that can get. If you can do that for 21 days, that's not the only thing I'm going to suggest somebody to do, but that is just a start. What you're going to do, every aspect of your day, you're going to choose a thought that you want to implement, that you want to replace the negative thought to. So, for example, if your hair is not growing or your skin's not clear enough, when you're doing your bath time routine, this is where I tell people to completely get rid of the distractions like music or your phone, because some people will take their phones with them while they're eating their foods and watch something, or they'll take their phones with them while they're going to the bathroom, or take their phones with them while they're going to go wash up or do their hair care or their skin care. Completely get rid of the distractions. If you can do that, I know it sounds boring. It does at first, until you realize how much you allow your mind to wander when you're tuned out and you're allowing autopilot to just come on. What you're going to do is, while you're washing the dishes, if that thought, I never have enough money, if bills is on your mind all the time, completely don't allow those thoughts to be finished. I always have more than enough money. As you're washing the dishes, you're wanting a nicer house, you're wanting more luxury around you. I am so grateful that I can afford the finest pots and pans as you're washing your dishes. I am so grateful I can afford the finest plates and china in my kitchen, and pretend that you're washing them and just indwell in that thought. And again, it's really important that you're only using one or two thoughts at that very moment. Affirmations. These are affirmations and thoughts that you're going to constantly repeat over and over and over and over and over again. I've heard about affirmations for years. When we're talking about looking in the mirror and repeating affirmations and reprogramming the subconscious mind, again, those are just full-blown techniques that I think that when a person is doing that out of desperation, or they feel like they don't believe that they can change that thought process or that belief or reprogram the subconscious, that they're doing that in hopes that something will shift, and they have too much, I don't want to say resistance or not enough faith in it, that they just don't see anything and then they give up. Instead of just worrying about when it's going to change, just take the time to be intentional. Think about it like going to the gym. This is called a mental diet. You're constantly feeding your mind the things that you want to hear in those moments that is trying to feed you the negative. You're taking a shower. You have to, at that very moment, what is a negative thought that's coming in? Oh, I'm not happy in my body. I feel like I need to go I have the most perfect body right now. If you can just keep repeating that as you're washing your body, I love how my calves look. I love how my abs look. I love how my arms and my muscle on my arms look. I love the muscle I'm building on my legs as you're washing. Literally just telling yourself what you want to change about yourself or what you want to change about the reality. Make it intentional for 21 days in every aspect of your routine. Get rid of the distractions and just replace a thought in the midst of that distraction. So you're eating food. A lot of people like to watch television or like to prop up their phone and watch something while you're eating food. I'm the type of person that I pray before I eat. I pray, I thank God for blessing me with the food. I bless the hands that have touched it. I bless the food before I eat it, and I pray that anything that is attached to it that could be negative, harmful, or poisoning is removed, and I sit there and I meditate on my food. While you're eating, you can be like, I am so grateful that this food is nourishing my body. I am so this all goes back to intention, because when you're eating, this isn't the video for that, but when you're eating, you should be doing it with intention. You should not just be eating just to fill yourself up because your cravings are taking over. You should be eating with purpose. So when you're eating carrots, you should be eating because those carrots help with vision or with vitamin A and cellular turnover on your skin. When you're eating sweet potatoes, same thing. If you're eating avocados, you're eating with the intention that you're receiving the good fats. Just the knowing of you eating certain foods and you're eating it and embodying that the understanding and knowing of that is enough so that you can reap the benefits of that food. But when you're eating, you can choose that time to be a time of meditation. When you're washing the dishes is a time of meditation. And a time of meditation doesn't necessarily mean that you're sitting there with your eyes closed meditating on something. It is just you being in the present moment and choosing the voice that's inside your head, to choose that voice to say something that is going to be beneficial and positive for your belief system. So every time that you're eating something, every time that you're intentionally washing your face, my skin is clear, my skin is beautiful, my skin is healthy. Whatever you are trying to switch that belief system to, you need to focus on. If you do this for 21 days, and sometimes it is hard for somebody to just completely shut off all distractions and just go inside their mind, because I could, for the life of me, I could not understand how to control my thoughts. I'm like, no, they just come in and out. Like, my thoughts are just my thoughts. No, they're not just your thoughts. You have the will and you have the power to completely control them and isolate them. Take every thought into captivity and bring them into the obedience of Christ. You have the ability to completely take every thought captive and isolate it and transform it. All things can be done through Christ who lives within me. If you have the power of God within you, then you have the power to completely change and flip those thoughts over. Your thoughts will influence the outside realm. Your thoughts influence your emotion. The portal is the heart. Like, it's a frequency portal. It pumps blood through our bodies, they say, but it also pumps out frequencies out into the atmosphere. And you're gonna want to take control of those thoughts, because those influence your emotional state. And people who are in that, and that is a perfect thing, like a pinpoint to choose your thoughts when you're feeling those negative emotions. A lot of people don't like feeling negative emotions because they're very triggering. However, me personally, I had a friend of mine who was like, no, like, I understand what you're talking about. That's exactly how you should use those negative emotions. When I feel negative emotions, whether they're jealousy, whether it's anger, whether it's hate at that moment, what I do is I use that as fuel to start flipping what I'm believing in that moment, but pouring back into me. Transmutation. Taking those negative emotions and transmuting it into something that benefits me. So when you're feeling those negative emotions at that very moment, that maybe the thought of money, you don't have enough money, and your heart sinks like, dang, my rent is due tomorrow and I don't have that rent. Take that moment to completely neutralize those thoughts. I always pay my bills on time. I always pay my bills on time. I always pay my bills on time. Money comes to me in great abundance. Whatever you need to say to yourself, again, don't make it too complicated. Just use about 1 or 2 thoughts. Whatever you need to neutralize that thought that would be the opposite of what you're feeling at that moment is what you're going to want to tell yourself consistently in your mind until that feeling neutralizes or goes away, or you feel that you've taken yourself out of that state. That is how you shift into another state, is when you can flip that emotional state. You're constantly doing this on a day-to-day basis. If you take inventory of your emotions, are you happy? Are you feeling fulfilled? Are you feeling like you're energetic and you're optimistic about what's coming, or you're scared or feel fearful, or you're worried about something? Use your emotions as a guide to see what you need to flip in your mind. You don't need techniques. You don't need tools. You don't need anything that is outside of you. It is all within you. If you can sit still for a moment and really realize, when I'm thinking about this, or when I'm thinking this certain thought, that's when this emotional state comes. And that emotional state is tied to your belief system. When you're feeling like you don't have enough, you believe that. But then if that thought comes through and you're just knowing you have $1 million in the bank, it's like, I always have enough money. Like the emotional state doesn't even change or shift because you're just in that knowing. The goal is to get into that knowing without physically seeing it. So for you to get into that knowing without physically seeing it with your own 2 eyes, you have to shift the belief. And the only way that you can shift that belief is starting to neutralize and reprogram the subconscious mind and that core belief that you have. Again, repetition is one way to do it. And then the second way would be symbolism or trauma, or again, I don't like to just say trauma. I like to say like a core memory, something that was significant enough that allowed you to shift that belief system indefinitely. Like now you believe whatever that experience has brought to you, that this is just the way it is. If you can cultivate and create a positive emotional state, whether it is visualizing or in an experience, then that's another way that you can shift successfully. But if you're having difficulty and you feel like you're doing too many techniques or nothing's working for you and you're just ready to give up, just try that for like 21 days. For 21 days, when you're washing your face, when you're brushing your teeth, when you're doing the dishes, when you're sitting in traffic and not listening to music, being distracted, but in your mind consistently saying that same affirmation, when you're sitting in a doctor's office, when you're just doing stuff, cleaning up your house. I know people like to turn on music to clean up their house because it makes it more enjoyable. Go inside your head, clean up your house, but say that one affirmation that you're trying to program the ridges into your mind. I promise you, change will happen. Those little neural pathways, they're circuiting. They're starting to create new belief systems and new pathways in your brain. Consistently keep doing it, and take inventory. Journal at night. Take inventory about how you're feeling, what went well, what are certain things that popped up in your reality that you're seeing that, oh wait, this belief system is ingraining itself. I'm seeing little evidence here and there. That's really where the fun part happens. Because the moment that you realize, wait, I do see things shifting, I do see opportunities opening up, or I do see certain things popping up that I didn't before, it gives you that momentum to keep going. Just like going to the gym. You can go to the gym. What do they say? You go to the gym for 4 weeks. You'll start noticing the differences within your own body. Then you'll go for 8 weeks. Keep going. Then those who are closest to you, your spouse, your children, your family members, friends, they'll start seeing a difference in you. You'll do it for 12 weeks. Your coworkers and associates and people you don't talk to on a day-to-day basis but still, mingle with, they'll start to see it. That momentum of the change in your body and the way that you're feeling and, people giving you that feedback, it's fuel to keep going. Do that with your thoughts. Do that with what you're seeing on a day-to-day basis. Where do you see the evidence changing? And I promise you, change is happening. Movement is happening. It is happening. You just have to be consistent with it and do not let up. Get off of all of those other websites and Reddits and even YouTube. Again, I know I'm making a video about it, but get off of all of those and stop seeking outside of you, and just know you're the power. You're the optimate power. You can do it yourself. You can shift your reality by just focusing on your thoughts and understanding you have dominion over those demonic thoughts, they call them. Those demonic frequencies, those changes, those things that are keeping you at a low vibration, keeping your reality, keeping your life repeating the loop over and over and over and over again. And I promise you, you'll know when you're stuck in a loop, because you get tired. You get tired of the loop. You get tired of seeing the same evidence over and over and over again, and you keep asking yourself, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep saying this? Why do I keep saying I'm going to do this, but I end up doing this? You know when you're tired. It's just a habitual thing. You know it, but you just don't know how to shift out of it. You don't know how to get out. You feel stuck. I promise you, just start with your thoughts. And that's where I'm going to leave it off at, because there's more I want to talk about on this topic. But if you could do that for 21 days and come back and see if something has shifted, again, take inventory of your day-to-day. Where are you seeing evidence at? How are you changing your thoughts, and what are you eliminating that's a distraction that you're replacing with just repeating a thought, just to spend time in your mind to change up those thought processes. But that's where I'm going to leave it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure that you like and you subscribe. And if you are already subscribed, make sure that you're sharing this with anybody if it was helpful. Peace out.